Welcome back. It's Whims of the Creator again. I'm here. I'm JB. I'm here with Gadget
Oh, again.
and Volk.
Hi there.
What does he say? That whole thing, yeah.
Oh.
That's the noise they make when you pull them out of the ground.
Oh, right.
Oh,
The Pikmin noise. See, I don't know if Volk is a Pikmin though.
it could be if I tried.
I guess. Yeah. If you put you put in the effort. You went to the gym a little bit. Yeah.
Put your Pixona in the comments. Mine's purple.
I definitely didn't get bullied at school for cosplaying that for an event week.
Sweet.
Oh,
You could be worse. You could have gone as Sudowoodo's non-existent evolved form Cedar Wiener.
what? Update.
Shit.
All right.
My excuses. I'm gonna claim my excuses. I was, I think, 8 years old, maybe 9. I don't remember.
See, I didn't
Not
have
my
an
best
excuse.
moment.
I was in high school.
Well,
I didn't have a costume for Animal Day.
Oh.
So I just said, I'm gonna tape a leaf to a beanie and say it's a Pikmin.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at JP's reaction to that.
Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm still alive. We're here. Hi.
Mhm.
It's Swims of the Creator.
Great.
We're reviewing Pikmin. Topical. We talked about yellow and green. Green has a lot of cards in it. Yellow has less cards in it, but some very, very interesting ones. And surely the rest of this set will also have very interesting cards in it. Speaking of
Oh, yes.
cards, behold, this is Brittany. She's a botanist. Copa is the name of their planet that they're from?
Yeah, it's the planet they come from.
Okay, cool. So yeah, she's one of the not human people, because there's no way that's future Earth or something. Shift die. She's a 1/1 for 500 on a standby combo. If you have 2 or more red characters, she goes to 2500. Implies that the combo is maybe fractional, and maybe it is. When the standby is placed on your stage, put the top 2 from your waiting room to deck. Choose a level X or lower character or event in your waiting room to salvage. Choose one of your other characters, and that character gets 1500 to end of turn. X is, So it's a cigarettes combo that also hits events and isn't trait restricted. The math needs to add up to 1500 between the condition and the combo.
Condition's good.
So like the condition is it's okay. It's weird, right? So 2500 because 2 or more is a 2x multiplier means that's why it needs to be fractional because 1250 doubled.
Okay.
So
you're saying it should be like 3K and it have to be a 4K base or whatever.
Well, that's the thing, because because this is a 1/1. So maybe that. Alternatively, because I'm not so sure. I'm not entirely sure about the combo either, right? Because we know that the cigarettes is like a level 1 combo that just happens.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
I've got the answer. Honestly, I've literally had it on my screen for 5 minutes.
Okay.
This is effectively the Eris combo from Bishoku, but it's like more versatile. Eris has a bunch of fate conditions, like it's 55 base, gains 2K if all your characters are 6-sided world, which is a universal trait. On play mill 2, get a level X or lower 6-sided world character from your waiting room. Again, fate condition, and that's when the climax is played. So effectively, we're talking about a 7500 1/1 with a climax combo. This peaks at 7K, despite not having the power condition correct, but it can also hit on events. What gets me a little bit is the fact that it pumps a character by 1500, but ultimately, overall, what you have is a 7K, 1 cost, level 1 that can do cigarettes for characters or events. Honestly, that's like, you might need to change the power budgeting around a little bit, but I think the stat line is fine. I'm going to be a little bit bold here. I know there are other people that thought Eris was completely broken, that you should not have a plussing combo on a standby. I think the card is fine, but the fact that it gets you events in this set in particular makes it really good. And obviously this is on standby. The standby isn't really supported in this set that well. I don't think there's not like a 1/1 combo. But you know what this card can get? It can get Bulbmin.
It get Oldman.
It can also get the Baldy long legs we saw earlier.
Yeah, green has.
There is no
sure.
card that has Hand on Core in this set at level 2, but you know what this card can get? It can get you a Rock Pikmin, and then you can play the 2/3 event we saw earlier to bounce the Rock Pikmin back to hand. I don't think this is broken, but I think you have to give it the A+ because it's so synergistic with everything else in the set. And yeah, I think you can give it the minus for math, but I 100% think this card's fine. It's good. It's played in Mishoku. And like, look, it's played in Mishoku. Mishoku isn't even an A tier deck anymore. Like, this is fine. If we're being completely honest. What's the flavor on this, if there is any?
She's red.
Yeah, she sure is.
That's it.
She's red. She's researching the guys. God. Yeah. Math needs work.
I don't know, John, did you have any more thoughts on this? It's like,
Huh?
I don't know, like, this isn't like a new card. Like, it's Eris that can hit on events. Okay, cool. Like, I don't know how in depth you want to go on this. It's pretty strong, but I don't think it's broken.
Yeah, just the numbers, Mason. The numbers.
The numbers, Mason. All right, well then, how would you balance this? You're so smart. I mean, like, cool. I legitimately think you either make this a 5K and give it like 2K power, or you make it a 4K and give it 3K power. However you decide to math it out. Like,
well, it doesn't have conditions on it at all, right? Currently, like that would be an easy fix. You just put some conditions on it. So like you can leave the power condition as it is. You probably drop that to 2K just because it's easier on the math. So that you've got like a 1K power. You got 500 power to work with. How do you turn this into a 500 combo? You probably put like you could even make it like two more distant planet trade.
There's a distant planet, and then make it so that it hits off of either distant planet characters or events.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
Absolutely. And then maybe also give the trait restriction on the power. Just like distant planet characters. Like again.
Yeah. I don't know. Like maybe you take away the power altogether, honestly.
You could.
Because Eris doesn't give power. Like, Bulk, where did you get this give a character 1500 power thing from anyway?
I honestly don't remember, but I know I got it from something.
Okay. I mean, honestly, you could just say give it one of your Pikmin characters 1500 power.
Wait, like, they're probably. I think no, there is totally a cigarettes variant that does 1500 power.
Yeah.
It's probably like, traded, but yeah, it totally is real.
It's not Eris, but it's something. Yeah. Anyway.
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
But yeah,
like two or more conditions.
It's barely gonna matter, but it might.
Because I swear I copied pasted this from something.
Maybe it was a level 2.
I'm wondering if it's I have another sense. I wish I remembered. This feels like a combo I've played before. Now that I think about it. I don't know. I don't want to take too much time on this because I know we've been here for like 3 hours already. But yeah, card's good. There's way more interesting cards we need to talk about if we're being real.
Let's just move on to the next card.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna read this one.
Comes out of the way up front.
Actually, you know what? Volk, why don't you read this one? This is your card. You choose the power.
Okie dokie. This is Olimar. He is clearly the main character. When this card is placed on stage from hand or by a standby effect of Day's End, you may put the top card of your clock in your waiting room. So heal.
So specifically his climax, right?
Yes.
Okay.
As you can see in the center there. His combo cost, return this card to your hand and then put one card from hand and one card from your climax area into the waiting room. So sack Day's End, bounce him back to hand, and then pitch a card. When Day's End is placed in the climax area, you may pay the cost. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent X times, and all of your Pikmin characters in all of your zones get the following ability until the end of turn. Auto pay 2 when this card is placed on stage by a standby effect. You may pay the cost, and if you do, stand this card. X is equal to the total number of colors your Pikmin characters have on stage. Should be, but yeah. So, effectively, if you get one of this on board and 4 different color Pikmin, you can burn one 4 times. And then have full board if you're able to pay the 2. And potentially, if you still have the 2 stock and you hit more standbys, more attacks.
A lot to discuss here. Effectively, the power on this card could be 500, and it would still be good. If we remember Lion from Kimono Friends, that card is when it's played from the effective standby or from the triggered effect of its own standby, you can pay 2, ditch 2 to stand it. This is giving, and that card's level 3 with 2 soul, right? This is giving all your Pikmin characters a pay 2 stand it when it's placed on stage by the effective standby. There are level 3 Pikmin in the set this can provide potential implications for, but effectively what you're doing is, look, whenever you trigger a standby, the character's coming in rested. This lets you stand with it and attack with it immediately if you have the stock to play. But you also have to roll a dice on if you even trigger the standby.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. The payoff for this is actually insanely good. But really, if we're being real, you're only resolving one of this card because you have to pop it back to hand and sacrifice the climax. The real payoff for this is getting to ping 1 up to 4 times. In that sense, the card's like, it's fine. Pay 1 4 times off 1 card. That's good. We know Escanor's good. We know that burn 1 twice is good. So really, I think what we're trying to evaluate here is how impactful is that other ability of when you get the Pikmin, you get to pay 2 and stand them. Maybe take it away.
Yeah, I cannot give you any wisdom on the math exactly. I feel like this is like, I never got to play against this, no, I did. I played against it at least once, I think. Imagine a world where Sokka was a lot more tame. Imagine a world where the, like, spam guys for extra little swings wasn't, like, free. That's what what it feels like in a lot of ways. Like, the thing about, like,
you did have to clock yourself with Sokka, but yes.
Yeah, because Sokka also was just looping himself, whereas this is like, all right, as long as you're triggering standbys, which is also sort of what you had to deal with Sokka in a way, but it's less easy to fire off. You're not getting as many big swings because, there are some big, like level 3 Pikmin, and, we have like the rocks, which are, level 2s, but like, ultimately, you still have to play like a lot of gotcha to get this to pop off perfectly.
Yeah. Here's one more. I want Volk to talk about this, but there's one more thing here that we're not considering. This is a standby combo, but it can only trigger when the standby effectively is placed. So what you would do is, say you're 2-0, right? You go to level 2, you do your stuff, you play the Eris combo, or Brittany, whatever. You stand by this to your back row. And then you do some stuff, opponent goes to their turn, you cancel a bunch, you go down to 2-5 or 2-6, right? So you actually resolve this once on your second level 2 turn, and whatever you standby out with your standby, you can actually resolve this first to sack the climax and pop him back to hand, which gives you an open lane to standby something into.
Correct.
So if you choose to stand by a Pikmin character, you can then also pay 2 right there to stand it and have it ready to attack with. So you can get the Glow Pikmin, for example, as a big beater, or you can get the other Pikmin. There's another Pikmin that we're going to talk about later that has an off finisher effect, and have that be your third lane. But that's all at level 2 still. You could still potentially get another turn at level 3 where you have this happen. So the one thing I'm a little bit iffy on is, for example, I guess you already have to have the Glow Pikmin on board to get the ping 1 effect, right?
Well,
you can't stand by the Glow Pikmin after you've resolved this and burn 1 4 times, right?
Right. Wait.
Okay, so that's not too bad. You still have to invest the stock in hand to get the Glow Pikmin out.
Wait. Yeah.
Once you have it there, then the second one is going to be like ping 1, ping 1, ping 1, ping 1. So like
the other thing though, because you're dragging me right, the original text is different number of different color Pikmin characters you have. I converted that into total number of colors your Pikmin characters have. Those aren't the same thing.
Correct.
The original
it's supposed to be
yeah
separate Pikmin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Effectively, if you have each color on board, you're pinging 1 4 times. You don't get to ping 1 4 times for each Glow Pikmin you have.
Well, no. Like, the Glow Pikmin would only count as 1 color. It's not supposed to count as all 4.
It's
is
basically
that true?
I mistranslated it for practical purposes, yeah.
Okay, that's actually way more fair than that. I thought it was If you
Yeah.
had the glow Pikmin, it was all 4.
Yeah, no. So your first
No.
turn of this
Glow
is
Pikmin is basically a sub-in for one of the colors that you don't actively have
Okay, let me read this card again.
by the
then.
old standard effect.
yeah, number of different colored Pikmin characters, which I was not entirely sure how to
So,
actually
wait, so-
translate properly. X is equal to the number
If
of.
you have 4 more other characters, this card is treated as all colors, though.
But
Yes.
it's not.
But
There
the
is
original effect
Yeah.
requires you to have 4 different color Pikmin,
Yeah.
not one Pikmin that is 4 different
Oh,
colors.
X is the number of different colored Pikmin characters. Okay, I
Yeah.
see.
And I wasn't sure like how to. What I went with was like it sounded right to me, but I did not
get
actually
it, I get
like consult.
Either way, you're peaking at 4 damage, but you have to have a red, a blue, a green, and a yellow on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the glow can substitute for like one of
One of them.
those.
Yeah.
If you've got another green Pikmin, I guess. Okay.
Or if you have 4 glows, they can each count as different ones, but
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
less
yeah.
likely.
Got it. I think with all that in mind, I think the effect is like fine.
Yeah, that's it. Like it feels like there's a world where if this was like a higher maxed out set, this would play in a way that reminds people of like an Azula thing, but it doesn't because one, you're running 8 standby, you're not running like a top Azula deck at all, so your play pattern's gonna definitely look quite different. The other thing is that like the conditions for all that to go off are more extensive, and like you don't really want to go like try to push for like an early play version of that in Avatar.
Yeah.
And now that the deck is completely dead.
I wasn't thinking in terms of Avatar. I was thinking in terms of Hololive actually. Because if there's a way, if you can somehow get the double Gura out at level 2.
Oh, I see.
No, that's
But
not the way you play though. That's not the play pattern.
Yeah, that's also not a. You don't try to push for damage early very often. Guilty Gear is the one partial standby strat that comes to mind where like you could, but again, most people are like, no, you never rush mid game. Like there's so many people who are like, you play these decks for end game push, and it's like, all right, cool.
I mean,
but
you could argue there are a lot of people that play Ram exclusively for that mid game push and try to end early, because you can use Testament to burn one twice in main phase. But I haven't been able to do that with my version of the deck, but I've heard people argue for it. I don't know. I think we're talking in circles a little bit. I don't want to spoil the other Pikmin guy too much, but basically, it's another pay to do an off finisher effect, right? But even like your best case scenario is you're popping this back to hand, you're standbying that guy to your front row, paying 2 to standing it, and then pay 2 to do its off finisher effect, which is a bunch of stock and like hand. And then if you get any other incidental standbys, then cool, you get to extend by 1 more attack, I guess. It reads really strong, and I think this would be a reason to play Pikmin if it was real, but I think this is just kind of like Avatar, but worse. The other cool thing about it is, if you do happen to trigger his standby early, and you get him on board, you do get to heal again, which is a really cool implication that we don't see on a lot of other standby cards. So if you do happen to trigger his own standby at like level 2, you can just get a free heal off that. I know people at our locals were complaining about that and said it was really freaking broken, but like, it's really not. Because what is he doing? He is a beater. He's a 2-soul Bingus that is way understated for a level 3.
Yeah, he's very small. Basically,
as I said before, this card could be 500 power and it would still be just as good as it is right now. You could argue that's bad card design, and your card should be able to like there should be some like whatever power level you could give it. But like Princess Bubblegum, for example, in Adventure Time, that card says on play you can bounce a character and draw a card, and then it has a 2k assist, all level 3 characters in front of it, and also the characters facing it have memory kick. It's a back row assist, it's 3500, and it has that other effect. But like, for what? Like 3500 power, that card could be 500 power and it would be fine. But Weiss in Ruby is also a 2k frontal assist. It has an ability that lets you, I think, scry 1 on play, and then it lets you heal on play. And that card is 7500. So like, where is the logic? I don't know. But I think this card's fine. I'm gonna give it an A+ for me. I think it's a reason to play Pikmin. So.
Also, the lore reason is that Olimar himself is not strong.
Yeah. It's so cool.
He has the army behind him. And also, the other main lore for this card specifically is the bounce back to hand is him leaving the planet at the end of every day.
Yeah.
And all of the Pikmin that he leaves behind on accident have to fend for themselves. So they're just fighting for their life at that point. Hence, they can re-stand with the pay 2.
Yeah. It's very flavorful. If everybody's played Smash Bros, this is literally Olimar's final Smash, where he's flying up in his ship, he's burning your opponent 1, that's effectively them getting trampled by the creatures, and then, like you said, Pikmin you're leaving behind get to do whatever. And so it's kind of a payoff for building an entirely Pikmin deck. Even if you're not playing Pikmin in your deck and you're just playing some stupid standby strategy, you can still potentially hang one a bunch of times with your random guys that are on board. But if you're actually playing that win condition where you're playing basically a lot of Pikmin, yeah, you can get a really high payoff on it. I don't know. I think this is one of the better cards in the set flavor wise. I think it's really cool. Everybody who's seen Smash Bros. And played Pikmin knows about the Days End thing. So I love this card.
I'm pretty sure this was like the first idea I had for this set, which triggered me to make it in the first place.
Good idea.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, this one's not. There's not much to this one. On play from hand, look at top card, put it on top of your deck or into waiting room. It is a check for salvage brainstorm. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is literally the Kana brainstorm from Dragon Maid. Literally word for word, power for power, color for color. There was some reason why I thought this would be better as a search brainstorm in this set in particular. I think because there are ways to get cards out of your waiting room more easily. But I think it's fine. Every set's going to need a card like this. I think it's a little disappointing that you just have this brainstorm and, the generic draw brainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a downside. It's just like brainstorms are doing crazy things these days. Somebody told me, and I thought he was lying when he told me this, but I looked it up and he was not lying. Apparently, Freerun has a brainstorm that lets you up to 3 times per turn when you play an event, like do a filter effect, like scry one or something. That's ridiculous on a brainstorm. And we were talking earlier about like Spider-Man and Deadpool and how stupid those are as well. Custom sets can get way more creative with their brainstorms. I think for this set, the power is more focused in on like the top end, which is fine. And this is just a good card. You would probably play this like in any deck that you can, even if you're not trying to fix for red. But like, it's frustrating in the sense that like you could go completely insane with your brainstorm and it would probably still be fine. I mean, freaking Marvel did it, right? But like, yeah, it's fine. It's also fine. It's you know what it is? It's design space for the second set that you make.
Yeah. Didn't you say something about like a Dalmatian brainstormer that hits off the Dalmatians instead?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they've had
That
Make
would
a
be...
make a rock Pikmin brainstorm that hits off the rock Pikmin.
Or just Pikmin.
God.
Well, I mean the problem is
the
the
names, not traits.
Yeah.
the Dalmatians are at least limited to 15 per deck. All of these guys are limited to infinity per deck. So like,
Right.
you could in theory have a check 5 brainstorm that lets you go +5 whenever you use it, and that's kind of
Well, so like the Mushoku has the red character brain, like like you check a name, salvage a red character, like that'd be perfectly fine.
yeah. And
I
it
feel
only
like if
hits
this-
on, yeah.
I feel like if this milled Pikmin and just salvage Pikmin.
God, that would.
And it would have to be a binary. If you milled a Pikmin, you get a Pikmin. If you don't get a Pikmin, you don't get a Pikmin.
That
You wouldn't be
would
able to get multiple with it.
We haven't really seen that space explored as a brainstorm idea, but that would be interesting.
I mean, that's kind of what the Dalmatians do. Like, if you hit one of the puppies with Pongo and Perdita, you get to salvage any character. But you don't get to salvage more than one. You only ever get the one.
Yeah, because it brings down a lot of brainstorms that work like that, to be fair. But yeah.
Why did you give this a minus?
You're completely wrong about the power math. So the Kana is 1500 and is not trait restricted on the salvage. This card would sit at 2k power.
Neat.
So yeah, the power number is completely wrong. Yeah, I looked it up. It was easy.
Isn't this just the Kana though?
No, because it also it's not only is it 1500 power off what it should be. It's 1000 power off that Kana, and the trait restriction is on the brainstorm, which Kana doesn't actually have. She's traitless salvage.
No.
I'll be.
Yeah. So it was everything else that you said was very relevant and cool about brainstorm design space and stuff. That's very true compared like Modern Rice has gone insane with these, and I feel like honestly I'm of the opinion that like it's because Bushiroad has caught on to the fact that as much as the game is about gambling, these slot machines have to have like because there are so many times these particular like brainstorm just fails you. If I had the ability to, I would in any deck that I ran, I would rather run like a resonate card. Like I would rather run like Louis Resonator or something in just about every deck that I played over a brainstorm. If I could get one that either dug a similar amount of cards or just like I'm perfectly fine just like running like copies of the Louis brainstorm. The consistency of I am trading in for this resource and getting something back every time, just about like it's really hard to miss on traded character versus these, which are mill climaxes, which are like a 1 in like less than a 1 in 5 on a good day, like less than a 1 in 6 in no like a 1 in 5 from like a full deck. Better odds than that normally, but still, it's gamble, it's scotch, it's slot machine.
Well, the thing is, you're saying it's a 1 in 5, but it's a 1 in 5 on every card. That still gives you an 80% chance of theoretically hitting every time. I think this is something else that like good Weiss players will tell you is you never brainstorm for the plus. If you have to brainstorm for the plus, you've already screwed up and you're too far behind. The reason you're brainstorming in general is for deck speed. And like obviously there's some nuance to that. I don't 100% believe it. There are decks that need to brainstorm for plussing and like but effectively that's why you play brainstorm, because hitting 4 cards off the mill is more important than whoever the plus you get. But I agree with you on principle, JB. I think if there were more cards like the Louis, then yeah, more people would probably play them, but they would have to mill a certain amount of cards. And even then you might still play a brainstorm just so you can get that extra deck speed whenever you need it. It just depends.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of just how. I mean, yeah, like 8-door Hololive. That's how it ends up being. Like,
damn,
the Louis.
I really thought we were gonna like spend a minute on this card and be like, "Yep, that's the kind of brainstorm. Let's move on." But no, we actually have things to say.
Yeah. These are thinking hours. Maybe the next card will be less thinking.
No, it won't.
Oh yeah, you're right. Is that wings behind it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got little fairy wings.
Little fairy wings. Well, let's talk about those. 500 power. When this card is placed on the stage from your hand, you can choose a level 0 lower character from your waiting room. Brain. Place on any position in your stage. At the beginning of your encore phase, put that character into your memory. At the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, you may put the top 2 cards of your deck in your waiting room. If all those characters are Pikmin characters, you may return this card to your hand. What if Remris was a level 0 that only got level 0s and also was better? Because here's the fun thing about Polka and Remris, which I found out. Their end of turn, which isn't beginning of encore step, meaning that if they get reversed, they die. I've been playing Polka wrong my entire life. That's what I'm telling you. This card is better.
This card is better.
It only hits level 0s, but if you're looking for memory condition, which I...
Yep.
Yeah. Then yeah.
Sid is 100% doing that.
Congrats. This card is great. Wait, on characters? I know about events with characters.
Isn't this just there's like a Lammy that does this, right?
No, not really. Lammy is
but there is though, isn't there?
No.
Isn't there a Gen 4 character?
There isn't one that does it like this. There isn't one that does it like because that one is it doesn't spawn. It sends the card to memory and then at the end of your turn puts it in your hand. This is put it on stage, a character on stage, and then put it to your memory at the most convenient time to do that. And on top of that, it recycles itself. So,
well, I don't think the recycling itself is a problem. I think if it was a pay one instead of just doing it for free.
If it was if it was a copy of that effect just targeting level 0s, I think it would be guaranteed under budget. And as it is, I don't know, man.
I think you're right. The first effect's weird. Yeah. We all know where the second effect is coming from.
idea of send
That was
characters
the
from
first time
top
I saw.
deck.
Yeah, beginning of your opponent's attack phase. If all your characters are human or dragon, put the top card of your deck in your waiting room. If it's level 2 or higher, yeah, on
Oh,
front
that's
attack, return it to your hand.
that's
And then
wildly
like,
different,
okay, so
yeah.
it's not the exact same effect, but like my point is, that effect was also printed in Seven Deadly Sins as a common, and Dragon Maid had it as a double R. I guess this is technically not quite as good, but the other thing is, if this was a regular coin flip for level 1 or higher, it would be a 1k demerit. This is mill 2, and they both have to be Pikmin, but you have to be playing basically all Pikmin for this to hit. I think that probably you can make this even stronger than 500 power. Why would you want to put characters in your memory?
We'll get to it.
What am I missing? Is it this thing? Oh, that's right. Okay, wait. No, that only hits on events though. What am I looking at?
We are clueless, and we'll get there. Either way.
Oh, is it this one? No, that's basically.
You can't rate it if he doesn't know what it's going into your rate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's hard for me to value it without knowing what else is in here. Obviously, I've seen all the Pikmin. They're all mid, but they're mid by design. Like, this is a card that can plus itself to hand, but the set also just has a free runner. I'm gonna say it's a D, because I wouldn't play this card, but I could be wrong. Maybe the memory is actually important.
What if in set 2 you had a level 0 that played off of this that you could trade out for the Emperor in your memory?
Emperor's not a Pikmin?
No, it's not, but it's also not required to be a Pikmin, right? It's a level 0 lower character.
It has to be a level 0 lower card. The Empress is level 1.
This is what I'm saying. Set 2, level 0 guy turns into the
you're
Emperor
trolling.
in your memory.
No.
Oh.
No. No.
Or you could print the Botan memory swap if you have 5 or less memories, just trade out again. That would be God.
I mean, just do that. Just print the Botan memory swap. That's what I thought this card was. That's literally what I thought it was.
God, yeah, no. This card is its own beast, and for reasons, it probably would never be printed like this. It's very funny that it's printed like this.
Am I missing something? What cards have we already seen that deal with memory?
He said we'll get to it.
No.
We'll get to it. It's later. We'll find it.
We won't. I forgot the wording on one of those cards.
Oh.
Okay, so like,
It's just
so
compression
seriously,
at
what
this
is
point.
Compression.
Like, I guess
Alright.
like it's compression, it's free compression, but like what else is the payoff for this? There's not much, is there?
Meh. Free board for a turn.
Yeah.
One
like,
character
you know
that
what?
turns into 2.
It's compression. I'm gonna do this.
Compression and a free card on board.
I wouldn't play this, but I think it's not that bad.
Look at this white
I'm gonna
guy.
read this one. It's a white Pikmin. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may choose one of your level 0 Pikmin characters in your waiting room. Place it on any position of your stage as rest. Very good effect. And then when this card becomes reversed in battle, if it's level 0 or lower, put it on the bottom of the opponent's deck. Obviously, we all know blue is supposed to be bottom deck. If this is a red bomb, it's supposed to reverse the opponent. Honestly, have they actually started printing level 0 red memory bombs? That's where the zone bombs are going for level 1 or higher red cards now. Ever since Tokyo Avengers, they've gone to memory.
I thought they had, but I'm not sure. I know that they're still mostly printing low-level reverse bombs, but
yeah, I want to see this card send its opponent to memory. I don't know if we're there yet in terms of game balance, but by like 2025 or 2026, we probably will be there. Choose a character from your waiting room and summon it at rest. Is that a real effect?
for free, I don't think so. I'm checking. I would guarantee.
I mean, this is the other thing too. Is like with the flying Pikmin, because I remember discussing this with Volk. The Pikmin in this set are all shitters, particularly the zeros. I said it before with the cats. You can discard any character to get specifically whichever one goes to. You know, we all know what I'm talking about. If that's true, and you can trade any card for specifically that card, for no like payoff or whatever discount, like no stock cost, then why should you have to pay a stock to get specifically some guy at rest that you can't even use for a turn? Like, I know that there's like a whole argument to be made with, well, you're getting cards for free. Yeah, you are. You're getting cards that do nothing for free, effectively. They're not even cards that have soul triggers. There's not even a benefit to playing them in your deck.
You know what? I just remembered what the payoff for those spawn the thing. I'm reading ahead on some of these cards. When you translated them into the new one, you actually downgraded some of their effects.
Oh.
Specifically the 2 reds.
Okay. Well, anyway, my point is, I don't want people to come at Vulcan in the comments for like, oh, this card's broken. Like, maybe it is, but also remember this is a deck that its entire level 0 game effectively is just army cards and like 2 cards that can plus you, which we haven't even talked about yet. Getting to summon a level 0 Pikmin character is not as strong as it reads. But the fact that this is a bomb, I think is actually very helpful. I would play probably 2, 3, 4 of this if I'm playing for red. I'm gonna say it's a C plus for plussing you.
Math precedent definitely doesn't check out, but
Do you think it should be weaker or stronger?
so I don't think you can print the 2 effects on the same card without putting
Doesn't
conditions on them.
the Okayu bomb do something like this though?
The Okayu bomb doesn't do it on play, has a lot of conditions on it, and the bomb is worse, which means it costs less power.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not.
Wait, hold on.
Bottom deck is the most expensive bomb.
Really?
Stock and Clocker, second place. Reverse
On
is
attack,
behind
if
them.
you have 1 or less other characters, you get to. Oh, you get to mill 1. Okay, and if you do it, you summon it. Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah, you're right. It is worse.
Yeah. Several conditions.
Yeah, either way, the math isn't math. Okay, yeah, no, you're fair enough. What's the
Also,
flavor
that
on the
gets
white?
The white Pikmin has like digging sonar
Ah.
for that find a thing underground, and then it's also poison to anything that eats it.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's what I was
perfect flavor.
remembering. Yeah.
So it could be.
It's good.
It could easily be like a reverse bomb and be closer to a spec at that point. Actually, the reverse bomb is the cheapest bomb, like 1K. I think you could make the argument that you could get this down to 1K as like the other thing if it had conditions on it or something. You could get it there as it is.
Yeah. Same army effect, just like the other level 1 Pikmin. It gives all of your other characters, all the other distant planet characters, 500. When this card is placed on stage, pay 1. If this card is the only card on your stage, and we pay the cost. If you do, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room and choose X number of Pikmin with a level equal to or less than your own level in waiting room and place them on separate positions of your stage. X is the number of Pikmin you milled.
So when you play this, you pay 1, you mill 2, and then for each Pikmin character you milled, you summon 1 from your waiting room who's equal to or less than your level. Okay. If you are level 2, this card can summon 2 rock Pikmin for 1 stop. So this one's at least an A.
To be fair, you do have to have an empty board,
Yeah.
which is not hard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, curious about something, because I'm not sure if I mistranslated this or not. When you said the only card on your stage, and when you say placed on the stage, and you didn't specify from hand, were you intending for this to work with standby?
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, if this card is the only
that's
character,
cool.
so when this card is placed on the stage, if you have no other characters, you may pay the cost.
So you can stand by this, pay 1, and get 2 lanes to attack with.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're low on resources, you only have to get this on board to get a thing.
Yeah.
There's also an event that we're about to go over that also pairs with this pretty well.
Proof.
All right, hold on. I'm theory crafting again here. You got Olimar. You ditch 1. You sack the standby. You bounce him back. Summon this guy. You get to pay 2 to stand him, and then pay 1 to get 2 more guys that are standing. I guess you have to sack into getting 2 Pikmin off this, but in theory, you could get. When we were talking about Olimar, my line was you get him to get the Pikmin off finisher that I was teasing. You just get that. You pay 2, stand it. But maybe you summon this, and then you pay 1, and then you get 2 of that guy for free. That's pretty cool.
If Olimar is the only thing on board, yeah.
Because you literally can't have anything else on board when you do it, so it's
Okay, but like that plays into like the stupid cannon beetle we were talking about earlier, right?
Oh
So,
god.
in theory, if you're playing fiery red Pikmin, you want a deck that's got a lot of Pikmin in it. But like, you could just play one of those stupid armor beetle, nuke both players' boards, and then hard play the Olimar, heal 1, bounce it back, get this guy, pay 2, stand it, pay 1, summon those 2 other guys from your waiting room. Maybe it's a lot of stock. It is a game plan. It reads very much like the Ollie deck in Hololive, you know. I don't know if it's good, but I think the implication is funny. I also just noticed while I was talking, this card has a soul trigger.
Yeah, the soul trigger is the thing that guarantees this card's math is wrong. If it didn't have the soul trigger, I think it might be. I don't know if it might be okay or
S
not, but
plus. S plus. You can play any number of it. It hits on itself and it has a soul trigger. Broken.
oh god, you really
It
can.
combos with itself. I'm playing fucking, I don't know, 48 red Pikmin. No, well, not 48.
42
I gotta
red
play standby
Pikmin.
triggers too. Oh, this sucks.
8 standby, 42 red Pikmin.
Because
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about 42. You gotta play the Olimar too. You gotta find a way to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Well,
Then
I
you're
mean,
only
if
paying
every
one with
card in your
Olimar.
deck, if you're swinging 2 with every card in your deck.
You know what though? The what was his name? The yellow Pikmin, blooming yellow Pikmin. Oh no, he doesn't have a soul trigger. Sorry, just the red one and the blue one have a soul trigger. So maybe you're in 2 colors. You play red and blue, and then you unga bunga, shoot them for damage, and you ping them one twice with Olimar. I don't know. But it's about the
Ping 2 build
implications,
board.
guys. Come on. I don't know, John. Do you have more to say about this card?
I'm satisfied. It's not on budget. It's a very funny card. We can move
You know
on.
what we
to
should
the
also
other
say too? This is a card you can play any number of copies of. It also gives all your other characters 500 power. If you happen to full board this, everything's getting plus 2k,
one. So it ends
which is
up
kind of
like,
funny.
it ends up catching up to being just short of a base of a vanilla 5. vanilla 1.
Yeah, if you happen to full board it. If you happen to play this with no characters, mill 2, you hit 2 more reds, and now everything on your field is plus 1500. That is pretty good as well.
Plus 1k. They'd only all go to 4k, and then you don't have anything else on board to.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, these guys, gotta remember cards we've seen. The green event gives these guys rest self, give a character plus X power. Like, even if you guys have one of these dinguses in the background, remember they have soul trigger, so it's never a downside to put them in your deck. You can just, okay, I'm a global 5, and then once per turn I can rest myself to give another character like 2500. That's not even that bad for a card that has a soul trigger. That might be a card that you just stick 2 copies of in a deck that's fixing for red if you're playing the green event, honestly. I don't know.
We haven't even
Implications.
looked at the red event.
And we haven't even looked at the red event.
Yeah, I have any of them. There's a few red events. Let's get closer to that progression.
Yeah.
Onto the.
Yeah,
This is the guy.
The guy.
This is the guy.
If he's in the middle position of your center stage, he gets 3k power. And then when he's placed into your waiting room from stage, you can pay 1, put a character from waiting room to the bottom of your clock, reveal top 2, put any character. I mean, basically, you add up to 2 characters from among them to your hand. Play the rest of it. It's Aqua Ricky. We all know how broken this is. At this point, lots of sets have gotten it.
To be pedantic for a moment, as if that isn't what I've been doing this entire video, when Gadget says lots of sets have gotten Aqua Ricky, he means the actual Ricky text on it. On death, pay 1, clock yourself with a character from waiting room, top check 2 for some trait, and add any characters with that trait to your hand. We've seen cards with just that text before fairly often, with another infamous example being the card the Escanor pitches for his finisher combo that burns brighter than the sun. However, only Hololive has gotten true Aqua Ricky. No other set has this universal Ricky that can go +1 is 3500 just for being in a particular spot. Puzzle and Dragons has a card that is 95% of the way there, but it can only find green characters, which is good, but not can hit on any character in this set good. Sakano Movie also has a card trying to fit the same general shape, but its power condition is different in a way that makes it more dependent on your opponent's play, and the trait it grabs is a universal, about 30 or so cards in the deck rather than any card in the set, meaning she's a piece for a specific archetype. Meanwhile, Hololive has 16 copies of this one per profile, split between 2 colors, 4 in blue, 12 in yellow. 8 of those yellow ones also have a trait relevant for a support piece that vastly improves the consistency of a particular archetype without the primary effect being nerfed to accommodate that. In the future, if we're going to see more of this profile, we're probably going to see it in some sort of archetype restricted basis, or Bushi's finally going to pull their head out of their asses and decide that, yes, if Hololive gets to run like 16 of this, other sets can have it. I don't know which one I'd prefer, but, I mean, you know, fair's gotta be fair, right? Alright, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
It's probably an A+. It's a card you can play. You're gonna play 4 of in any deck, any Pikmin deck. Any red cards that you would want to play, like, to fix for, or is it literally just... Oh, right, you can color fix with it. Wow, I forgot. You know what? That actually is really good. That means that playing 4-color Pikmin decks is actually not that hard.
Yeah, it's doable. Here's the best part about this, though, right? Because you say it's Aqua Rookie, and it is. That's the intention behind it. But there was one little piece of technology that was left behind in the original writing of this card, which I think is very funny for a set with standbys in it. Technically, with Aqua Rookie, you don't have to add the characters you find if you don't want to, right? You can put them in your waiting room. This card does not let you do that. Because
look at up to 2 cards on top of your deck. Choose up to 2 characters, reveal them, put them into your hand, put the rest in the waiting room. Versus any characters from relevance yet. You know what? That is true. That is actually true.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that actually matters, but
the universe where it matters is practically non-existent, but I love that that's true.
Just like, actually funny.
Just like a little thing to be like,
in balance Aqua, you guys. Somebody call Bushi Road.
If they're gonna print it and make it like a thing that exists, they just gotta be more liberal with it. The fact that they printed like 3 of them in HoloLive and then I haven't seen it anywhere else, it seems a little weird.
And then they wonder why they have to keep hitting cards from the standby.
Why standby? Like literally, well, I mean, it's not like they're playing like 12 of them.
Why is Mio banned? Why is Magi banned? Why is the Field Swap banned? Because they can't fucking ban Aqua. They got 16 copies.
Yeah.
Do you know
level 0
insane person's gonna do that now? Now that's choice restrict with Luna, they're gonna play Luna with like 16.
Who are you calling insane?
You know somebody's gonna try it.
That's literally me.
No, folk, don't go into the light. Oh God. Hate standby.
Of course I know him.
What if?
He's me.
What if? Here's how that could have been a really fun thing to do. If they trait restricted the Aqua with either the Lapras or the Koyori, but you got to have both Lapras and Koyori so that you could play more Secret Society characters. I could live in that world. That'd be a fun world to live in. But yeah, it's Aqua. It's a very good card.
You just ban Aqua and then only give that effect to Secret Society characters from now on.
I'd be okay with that.
That way, when they inevitably start trait restricting all the new cards, like that's gonna be the only deck that can play Aqua.
That would be fun. But yeah, we said enough pieces about this. Yeah. It's the main character. He gets a main character card. Moving on.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
He's here again.
There he is.
On play, pitch card from your hand. Choose an event in your winning room, return it to your hand.
Wow.
On spec. This feels fine. I don't think they've printed a card exactly like this. I think they usually require you to pick specific names or whatever. It costs 1K. It's fine.
Hooray.
Simple.
You could argue this should be 1500 because it gets you any event, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, we've all seen Amelia, right? Or it's not Amelia, it's what is it? There was a card that lets you look at 3 for an event.
Oh yeah.
Ditch one afterwards.
They decide like that. The pitch to like check 3 for various stuff. They've definitely printed more variations of now. Spy Fam has one.
That's right.
Anya has one.
Family.
Because it's also they traded the pitch it traded to grab the named event. Yeah, you can grab Stella off winning room with it, the same card. This card just shortcuts that. It's like no, just discard a card, grab an event. Don't worry about it.
Yep. I think if they ever printed Pikmin in real life, this would be the perfect time to print this profile. Make it like 1500 power, 2K, add as a single rare, and then just see what happens. And it probably nothing will happen.
Yeah.
There are some pretty insane implications with this. I mean, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. You could like, with this card, you could play one of the Whistle Rally, one of the New Day event to go with your Pikmin, and like whatever copies you wanted of the cigarettes and like the pay 1 check 3 event, just flex them, do whatever, like play 4 of the filter event that you like and then play one of like the good ones that help you and help your deck. You're always going to have good targets for this. So, just whatever. And like there's even more events that we haven't seen that this card can also get. It's actually nuts.
Yeah, no, it's an insane card for like an event toolbox kind of deck.
All right. Next.
What we got?
Alright, so it's an army card. You can have any number of cards with the same name as this card in your deck. When this card is placed on stage from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character or an event, put it into your hand, then ditch one. Very good card. I think this is... JB, you said that the army effect is 500 power usually, right?
Yep, it is guaranteed over spec.
Yeah, I unfortunate. I love these profiles. I started playing it in Bang Dream. There's a card from Pastel Palettes. It's on play Scry, and then it has the top check if it's a character, add to hand, then ditch one. It's so nice. There are other profiles of that card that are arguably better, but this card is it's so nice. Is it a card that you'd want to play infinity copies of? I don't know, but I was discussing it like when I first saw this card, I was like, is this broken? And then I was like, no, it's just a hand filter. Screw it. Lots of decks get hand filters. Lots of decks get double hand filters that you can play 4 copies of. So a single hand filter that you can play 8 or 12 copies of, sure, why not?
Just to throw it out there, I mentioned earlier that Jay definitely debuffed this, because if you read the original effect, slightly different.
When placed on stage, you can reveal top card of your deck. If it's a character or an event, you add it to your hand, then you ditch one.
The only mandatory debuff that I gave it was that it's not optional.
No. The first couple of words.
Oh, you made it so it's when placed from anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You can stand by this or otherwise play it. Oh my
That's why
god,
those 2 level
right.
heroes that spawned it.
That's why
Yeah.
this card
Is that
was so
intentional?
stupid to play against. Oh god, I remember now. Yeah, no, because you
Those 2 level 0 spawners could spawn this.
Yeah, that's
and
what
then
you
it
would
would still do a
yeah.
thing.
Oh god.
Is that still intended? I mean,
Uh-huh. That was
That
very
was intentional,
intentional. That was what he was doing with it.
you know
Oh
what?
no.
I have to change some ratings then. Give me a second here.
That,
we gotta go back to the flying Pikmin.
Yeah.
It was specifically only the reds that got that treatment. Now, granted, it's definitely overstated. It'll probably go down to like at least
We're gonna
2,
go
if not
back and we're
15.
gonna give the flying Pikmin a C minus because
So-
now I know he can get that guy.
The normal version that's only on stage from hand is 1500 power.
Mhm.
And
Alright, then yeah,
yeah.
drop it to 500. I don't give a shit.
I think you wanted at least 1500 for sure. Oh god,
It's
I don't
stuck
know.
at 500
I mean,
at best. Yeah. No, it's stuck at 500 at best. They don't print cards that just say placed on the stage.
from
Kind of for a
anywhere,
reason.
yeah.
But very simple effect,
Oh yeah.
if nothing else.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
straightforward guy.
Now I feel like an idiot from the beginning of the first video saying, yeah, the Pikmin are kind of just dinguses, they don't really do anything, and then here's this guy who's like, yeah, when you play him from hand or by the effect of standby, you get to filter out a card you don't need and then draw a new card, basically.
As long
Oh,
as,
God,
as long as
the
you're not hitting more
implication.
climaxes, yeah. Yeah, no, this card's insane. This
I
was
don't
like
know. I'm gonna give it an A. I would have probably given it a B or minus, but like,
this,
given that you've intended that it can be played from anywhere, yeah, it probably needs the A.
this card is the engine of destruction that made so much hell. Like your whole game plan some of the time was just do whatever you needed to, spam this guy, fix your hand like exactly the way you wanted to by just continuously top
hold on.
decking.
You're telling me you can, if you have no board, you can play the fiery red, pay 1, get 2 of this, and filter 2 cards.
Yes, and then still attack with them because they pay you back. You still go
Alright,
plus
so
2 stock off
hear me
that
out.
attack phase.
You hit level 1. You play the 1/0 red. This is the line, obviously. This is. So you play the 1/0 red guy. You pay 1. You mill 2. Wow, you hit 2 Pikmin. Cool. You summon 2 of the shitter red from your waiting room. You get
Bullshit.
to ditch. Well, you would ditch probably Albman or whatever, Baldy long legs from your hand, right? You draw 2 cards. You do the reveal effect and add twice. Wow, you drew a Brittany. Cool. You pay 1. You play the Brittany. You play her climax. You get to go +1 off that. So that effectively lets you go +3 right there because you're filtering out cards you don't need for cards that you can play, and you're getting a Baldy long legs in your backstage for next turn.
There's a
Now
lot
that
there's a lot of shit you can do.
that is
yeah.
pretty spicy. But to be fair, that's all enabled by the fiery red guy, who we already established is an S+ card. I think we'll do this. I think we'll give him an A+. Then we'll just leave it at that.
I would like to
There's
point
definitely
out
implications with this, more
the
than I
cycling
realize.
that this card gives is definitely necessary, given the fact that this set, for the most part, doesn't have a whole lot of toolboxing.
That is true. You don't have a drop switch or drop salvage in this set, do you?
Mm-mm.
God.
Aside from that event salvage.
Yeah. I think this is why I wanted to see a search brainstorm, is because you have cigarettes event, and you have this to go through your deck, but your brainstorm hits the waiting room. So, and your level 1 combo hits the waiting room. You don't have a true card that can search your deck, which is potentially a flaw this set has.
I think that's the.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's like the
It's a
flaw this is
weakness for
built
sure.
around. Yeah,
A necessary weakness.
because the whole it plays just like how I ended up playing fucking gamers a lot of the time, because my brain was like, yeah, you play the event, and you just keep playing the event, and you play the Okayu, and you're milling through your deck, like you just put all of your cards in your waiting room, and for like 5 seconds you can toolbox through all of them, and then it all goes
just
back
go
in
through
your
your
deck, and then you do it again.
Mm-hmm. I
Except-
think I just went through the rest of this list. There's only like one other card that searches deck,
True.
and it is name restricted.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was hoping for a search brainstorm here. But again, I think it's a legitimate necessary weakness of the set that it can only hit waiting room and not deck.
Because this guy exists. Look at him.
You kind of just have to rely on your top decks, your top checks with these. All right, do we want to move on from this?
Yep. You thought red would be the easy color.
All right, here we go.
Oh god.
Oh, hey, it's this thing.
Yep. It's very simple. It's a level 1 counter. You choose one of your distant found characters being front attacked and bounce it back to your hand.
All right, so Room of the Turtle is a 2/0 event in JoJo. Counter, choose one of your characters, return it to your hand. This says choose one of your traded characters in battle and return it to hand. As a counter. So, like, do we really think having the character be traded reduces this by a whole level? I don't know. Having said that, and having played against this card, like, having this card at level 1 is insane. I love this card. I love this card, and I think they should print it, honestly. Plus from me. Also, with your level 0 Olimar, you can just ditch bond to this whenever you need it. Like, it's sick. You know what? I need to go back and give that card a... No, I gave it an A+ already. Never mind. It deserves the A+.
This is literally the Black Star thing that I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That literally the smoke bomb we were talking about in the last video. It's literally this card.
I'm gonna put a question mark. I feel like because it's specifically the character in battle, and not any card, like it's a trade character in battle. The trade's a fake condition, but we don't worry about that for math. Fake conditions are conditions.
Yeah, the turtle event can choose any character as a counter and return it to hand. It doesn't have to be the character in battle. So yeah, that could be balanced.
Are there not other
Actually,
cards
now that I think about it,
there is.
That smoke bomb event also gave 1,000, so this is technically worse.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If
Smoke
that
bomb gave 1,000 to something else.
Yeah. The card I'm thinking of is Omnidirectional Mobility Gear version 2. That card is 1 stock to bounce a character in battle to hand and then ditch one to salvage.
But this just
So
does
it's got
the
like a bounce back and a salvage effect stapled to the same card.
Yeah.
But it's a 1 cost. The part of the value of this is it costs 0 to save the character, which I think is really good. That's just me though. Let me know in the comments what you think. I think having played against this card and having played with that stupid Star deck a couple times, like I absolutely love this. If there's a card, like we haven't seen it yet, but there's a 1/0 level 1 combo that you would totally want to recur. If you can fix your both colors level 1, which isn't hard because you have the Aqua Ricky, right? Seriously, Pikmin is a set that we've seen with so many cool stuff already and so many implications of things you can do. Like, you can also just incidentally play a good level 1 combo with this card, and you have the Aqua Ricky to enable the 2 colors level 1 if you need it, and then just play that into like either the Olimar standby finisher or the President finisher we looked at earlier, and that might just be a good enough deck because you have all these really cool events that help you through the mid game. You know, like it's boring, but it is an option that you can do if you were playing this custom set. You know, it's like there are so many cool things that this enables that you can just do, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, when it
And
comes
it's set
to
that has Ogre, by the way.
yeah, when it comes to designing a set, you really want to have like at least one brain dead option, which may or may not be like the meta thing, but you really want it to be able to just say like, all right, I have 50 cards. I'm gonna pick these 2 combos because they're generic and good, and I'm gonna play all these utility cards that are bullshit, and I'm gonna play this, this whatever
The
this set
downside
has
to
for
that
like
is
off finishers and stuff. Like, yeah, you want to have that in your set somewhere, and then you have like your other stuff that's like really tech shit and like super flavorful and like drives people insane because they're looking at like, how did you put all this on one card? It's like, well, you see, it's got like five. It's like the fucking Rock Lee with like 7 gates of power behind him. I never watched Naruto. Like,
I just think the legitimate downside of that is you end up with the set like Bochi the Rock, which has a bunch of really cool events and like memory cards, and it's just trying to play to memory, and one of the decks is trying to play to experience. And literally, the best deck you can play is the Itsuki level 1 combo with the Itsuki Brainstorm into Marin at level 3.
yeah,
Like, it's literally all the same cards, just different colors.
yeah,
Like, that's the danger you run into, where it's like, oh, I printed this really flavorful set that's so cool. Like, Spy Family has kind of the same problem, right? I printed all these really cool cards that have like different modes and they can change into each other. And like, arguably the best way to play the deck is to just stall at level 1 and then Unga Bunga kill them with the Lloyd finisher. Like,
yeah. You don't
oh
want
well, you know.
you don't want the simple thing to be the thing that would be quote unquote meta if you can make that work.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing about the way that meta games in card games work is that the easy thing, if it's good enough, is going to be the thing that people try first. And unless your set really doesn't have a lot else going on, and so it needs to push, like we saw with Avatar, like people went as far as they did to make that work, and then found Sokka and were like, "Oh, this shit's broken," and then like labbed it out, and it became the meta thing because they did not have a simpler alternative.
Yeah.
And it's like we saw it with like Hololive Set 1 back in the day, like Kanamarin, super like, or even like Korone Marin or whatever, like Marin is a very simple finisher, very efficient, totally fine. But then you had other decks that weren't as straightforward that you could play instead, and they were like comparable. They played into different matchups better,
Aura, right?
and they like maxed out or whatever. But so what you want for your goal is to have a simple setup, like a simple thing that people can do, and that may there's a good shot that if you're like deep enough into custom shit that you can get people playing and there's a meta around it. Yeah. You take that because it means people are playing the set. But alternatively, you want to have the more flavorful shit just kind of around and doing stuff and be like good enough that it's a functional deck.
Mm-hmm. If we ever get around to doing any of Volk's other sets, I think he does a pretty good job of doing that. My problem is that this set is great because it's only 56 cards and everything has been tested with each other and it's pretty synergistic. Usually when Volk does a set, they'll be like, okay, these are the yellow cards and I'm going to put together a yellow deck. And then these are the blue cards, I'm going to put together a yellow and blue deck. And these are the red cards and we're going to put together a red deck, right? And while it's fine to play in customs because no deck is more powerful than the other, I never get a chance to lab like putting the most broken shit together in a 3-color pile and seeing what happens. And like to this day, if we ever get to Fire Emblem, like that's one set where I'm like, yeah, these are all these cool things you can do in red and blue and stuff, but like why wouldn't I just play random level 1 combo into the Ike finisher because it's a free like burn 1 and cancel burn 1, right? Like that's sort of like the trade-off you have. Like when I've been trying to balance my custom set, it's like, yeah, I've got all these cool things it can do, but is any of that easier than just playing a level 1 event package like in Danmachi and then just playing to the best finisher, you want your set to be fun without having it be too like one-dimensional, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's also what meta, like the concept of like meta does, right? I think that's the thing that I've been like over the past few days as I've been like stupidly active in the Discord staring at messages and stuff. I feel like that's the thing that I have learned the most about this. Ultimately, the meta is like the least important thing to worry about, especially for like a custom set. You shouldn't, if you're worrying about like the best option, like the meta option, you're kind of building to the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
For a custom set, you're playing mostly, initially like you're building it for yourself, and then past that, it's the people who would be interested in the property or the people who just want to stare across at you specifically from a table and play white shorts with you. So ultimately, like, yeah, I think that
I mean, like I said behind. I don't know if I said this on recording or behind the scenes, but I do typically make my custom sets more flavorful than anything else, and then balance them later. So,
I think that's the right way to do it,
or at
honestly.
least attempt to balance them anyway. But
Yeah.
semantics. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, balance in practice, not in like exact math.
Yeah, of course. All right. Do we want to talk about the next event here?
It's a dolphin ship.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was you.
No,
Okay, no,
'cause
that's
I read
fine.
the backup. Not the backup, the other
All
one.
right. So if you do not have a character with Olimar in its card name, this card cannot be played from hand. That matters a little bit, because this is a ship event. On play, you ditch a card. If you do, search your deck for a distant planet character, put it into your hand. This card into your memory. And then when you level up, this card's in your memory. Oh, right. Okay. You may pay the cost, which is you.
Oh, I forgot to
So
spend
the
the
cost
cost.
is
Put a
the
card-
cost is you put the card into your waiting room. You search your deck for up to one distant planet character, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand. This is literally the Roxy pendant event from Mushoku Tensei, except that you have to have an Olimar character instead of a Roxy character.
Okay.
It's if we're being semantics, because there's no cost for the memory effect, this card is broken because you get to search your deck for up to one character for free without doing anything. But we all know what this is supposed to be because it's clear from the other card what it's supposed to do. It's you put this card into your waiting room, and then you didn't do that when you did the rewrite.
Nope.
But yeah, it's just the Roxy pendant. I know that a lot of people in Mishoku didn't play this card always. Like, it wasn't consistently played. I played the hell out of this card. I think it's insane and one of the best cards in the set. I think having the fact that you have to play an Olimar is legitimately a trade-off because the guys that really care about the ships in memory are Alf and Louis. So you would, right? Louis cares about the ships, right?
No,
Okay, so just Alf.
mainly just Elf.
Point is, it is a legitimate trade-off, but like you have Aqua Ricky, so you can always just play down the Aqua Ricky Olimar, then play your Dolphin ships, and then.
And also, don't forget, a new day allows you to ignore color cost.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh,
The 3-drop 2 event.
Yeah, so you still need the Olimar on board, but you don't
2/3
have to
event.
have red for it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Granted,
So anyway,
that's level 2.
I'm just gonna do this because the card's good. We all know it's good. It's played in Mishoku.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to say on this card. It's just straight good.
It's a card that exists. I did not realize because I don't look at Mushoku at any.
You know what? Hold on a second. Put a card from your hand to waiting room if you do search. Yeah, okay, yeah,
It
because
is
your hand
exactly,
filter.
yeah.
Your latest and greatest creation.
My favorite. So, it is a 1/1 backup event, which honestly, up until just now, I forgot it was a backup. But oh well, it's fun. Pay 1 event. Put the top X cards of your opponent's deck into the waiting room. If there are 10 or more events with ship in their card name in your memory, you may pay the cost. If you do, X is equal to 40. Otherwise, X is equal to the number of events in your memory times 3.
Just so I'm understanding this, it's a 1/1 counter. You pay 1 to play it. You check your memory. If there's 10 or more ships, you can then pay another stock to make them mill 40.
Yep.
If there's not, then you just get to make them mill X, where X is the ships in your memory times 3.
No, just events times 3.
Yeah.
Oh, events in memory total. Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you have other events, then you can get up there. Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, this used to be a level 3 event, correct? Yeah.
Way unbalanced effect.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I think even as a level 1, this is pretty freaking good. Just a reminder to everybody. So there's a ship event in yellow, 1/0 cigarettes that can go to memory. We already marked that one as a minus. That one probably needs to have a stock on it. In green, the New Day event can go to memory, and also the SS Drake ship can go to memory. And then in red, we have the Roxy pendant already, and there's another ship in. There are no ships in blue. So there's 3 1/1 ship events or 1/0 ships that can all go to memory. One of them is the Roxy pendant. There is no card that bonds to the Roxy pendant directly, but there is the level 0 Olimar that can let you on play ditch 1 to add any event. So
And
look,
it's an Olimar on board.
Yes, and it's an Olimar import. So look, I don't think this card is like insane, but like
It's very funny.
this could very easily spiral out of control. Like even if you get 5 ships in memory, you can like mill 15 3 times if you have 3 copies of this during your opponent's turn, which is 45 cards. That's probably going to cause them to take a refresh damage at least once. You can use this to mess with their deck state depending on what's in their waiting room, how many climaxes they've triggered. Here, honestly, this is my rating right now. Bottom line is what I'm saying here is I think this card is played 100%. I think that and it's events in memory. Sorry, so it's not cards. If it was cards, it would be even better because you could use the flying Pikmin to get more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Does this other event also go to your memory? The Pikmin Onion?
Mm-hmm.
It does, but it's not a ship. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is. There's another card that we'll read in a minute that also is an event that can go to memory. It's not a ship, so it doesn't work with Alf, but it's another card you can put in your memory. I don't know, like the thing is, like in theory, this card is really good, but also like we've seen cards like this. We've seen the Cinderella combo. We've seen the Noel thing in Hololive Summer Collection, and those decks have done absolutely nothing in the JP meta. The real implication of this would be like you push your opponent to like 3-5, and then you do this on their turn. If you have the 10 ships, you get to pay 2, make them mill 40. And if you don't have the stock, okay, you pay 1 and then you make them mill 30, which is still probably doing them at least 1 refresh point.
I would like to point out that this event was based on the new stuff that's being revealed for Rurouni Kenshin.
Is it really?
Yeah. This was the
Yeah.
one. I don't think I actually saw the
Are you-
Kenshin effect though.
Are you actually you're joking?
The Kenshin event isn't this per se, but it is a level 1 pay 2 event that mills just 14 static.
So it scales better, but you can't really.
It requires
play it
setup.
that way. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like 10.
What is the requirement of the Kenshin event?
You just play it.
Nothing.
Yeah, you just play
You
it.
just play it. It's a yellow
It's
event.
just a free pay 2 mill 14.
On top of the
Wow.
fact that you have the 8 standby Kenshin that just says, "Oh, mill your opponent's deck on attack."
Yeah,
That's right, I forgot about that.
they absolutely. I guess you absolutely could in
See,
theory.
but like I said, right? Rurouni Kenshin, Cran Shinchan, Freerin, all these crazy stuff they're printing. Like this is like, I think it's right to question effects when you're reading these for the first time, but then think about what else is out there, and then realize maybe this isn't that bad. You know, like
Mhm.
I mean, he literally did like say like I like because I remember Final Day like the. I don't remember what it
The
did.
original final day.
Yeah, I do remember it being.
Should I
insane.
remind you?
tell us.
Tell the
Okay,
people.
the original one was a 3-2 event that required you to have 10 ships in memory. But its effect was if you had 30, I want to say like a certain number of Pikmin in your waiting room,
Ah.
you could play it and then mill 30 cards of your own deck. And every Pikmin you milled was a ping 1 to your opponent. So you could mill fucking 20 Pikmin, and that's 20 ping 1s,
Yeah.
which is
okay.
just death.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Mhm.
much more reasonable than that.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I mean, this requires you to go super hard on events, like super hard. on
But you're
events.
also, memory compressing like a motherfucker doing it.
And like, just the way it's designed. Remember, the red Pikmin is reveal top if it's a character or event add to hand. The Olimar is on play, ditch one, get any event. There's a level 1 combo that can get characters or events. The Brittany level 1 lets you mill 2, get a character or an event, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the set plays into this very, very easily.
Mm-hmm.
But does it do it in a way that is fast enough to make it work? Is the question. Keep in mind
I don't think
that
it
it's
matters. Like this is a 1-1 event. You don't need to make them. You don't need to pay. You're not playing this to pay 2 mil 40. You're playing this to get to like 5 or 6 and then pay 1 to mill 18 or
15.
whatever twice.
No.
You know.
So your
Like, if you
entire
get to
game
10
plan, like theoretically, your game plan is to constantly be finding ways to generate resources so that you can turn them into events and pay, like, because it's not like you're having to pay for these events, right? Now, granted,
Well, some of them you do, some of them you don't. The Roxy's free, remember?
Roxy's free. The other one at the moment is free, so yeah, we have like as built right now. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably fun because they just stay in memory. And I just factored like hypothetically any environment that you're playing this in isn't like a JP like low speed environment. It's like closer to like an EN like turbo death meta, right? Like like you're getting like like 4 or 5 turns to like set up however much that you can before you go in for the kill. Probably like 5-6 turns. Time of death is like roughly there on like a fast turn. Like if both people are playing like meta 8 1k1 decks, that's about where you're sitting.
And also remember, the entire deck is based around just building boards of shitters every turn for little to no cost.
Yeah.
So the stock generation is decent. God forbid you're doing the Bulbman strategy.
Yeah. So like I feel like this set is cracked in enough places that it's reasonable to go for. But it's,
I guess that's the question, isn't it? Is it more feasible to do this mill strategy than it is to just unga bunga summon Bulbman and then do the Snaggart thing like we talked about earlier?
Yeah, the Snaggart thing is.
There's a lot of interesting combos on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think this doesn't need to be an S. I think it's an A. I think it's a card you would play to for sure, but is it broken? Remains to be seen. Further testing required. But honestly, if this is in Rurouni Kenshin, it's probably not as strong as I'm thinking it is.
Yeah. I mean, the Rurouni Kenshin is specifically set at pay 2 mil 14. That's kind of the like.
Right, but you need what, 5 ships in memory to do that?
Yeah.
For 1 stock less. And like you said, there's upfront investment to getting the ship. Like, okay, cool. You get 4 of the Roxy events in your memory. You get 1 of like the cigarettes or the Justice Drake ship. Okay, cool. And then you're set up. And then as soon as you level up, you lose all 4 of your dolphin ships because they're of their effects, right?
Is that mandatory?
So you gotta go find all those again and then put them all in your memory again.
It's that.
Because the dolphin ship goes to waiting room whenever you level up.
It says
you may
pay
pay
the cost, so you don't have to. If you're finding that the base effect was like just a filter instead of.
So. I thought that car was mandatory though. I don't know.
Drake ship isn't.
I'm literally. Why doesn't? Hold on. I'm getting sidetracked here, but like Cinderella should have the number of cards she mills on her card. Oh wait, this is a promo, isn't it? Wait, why is this a promo? Here it is. Okay, Jesus Christ. Yes, your opponent mills 24. Okay, yeah. And that's a free. You just have to play her climax. Okay.
Yeah. You have to get to 8 events in memory to do that.
Yeah, that's not even that bad. You could like you're not even gonna do that over the course of a game unless you're really playing to it.
True.
Yeah, you know that card's probably fine. All right. Anyway, you can leave that in. It's funny.
Last card in red.
All right.
Pikmins have layers. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Put all Pikmin characters among them into your hand. Put the rest in your waiting room. Put this card into your memory. This is a 1/2 event. Memory. This activates up to 1 time per turn at the beginning of your draw phase. If you have no characters in your center stage, you up to 1 cost your Pikmin character in your waiting room. This on any position of your center stage. Holy shit. I don't.
Okay.
I feel like
flavor text important.
I don't know. I feel like this might be fine because the 1/2 events that exist are kind of insane.
Yeah, no, okay. But like
the principle,
there's no
implications.
You just do it, right?
The implication, yeah, you just do it. You have to have no characters, which gives you center stage. No board. You can have backstage.
You have no board. You get your red guy.
But you need a clear board to do that.
You get more guys for free.
Yeah, or if you have characters in your backstage, you just get a different guy.
Wait, you have no characters in your center? Oh, in your center stage.
Yeah. So this guy, so like you can have you can play a deck that actually has a backstage and use this event.
This card's sweet.
Yeah, this card's sick.
This card?
Yeah.
Flavor text is important here.
Yeah,
It's a last resort. That's not even true. You can like.
It has a last resort. What do
You
you
could let
mean
you summon the
last?
fiery red Pikmin, I believe you, but you can do this if you have no characters in your center stage. It's not a last resort. You still
See,
got
the
two
lore-
Magnus's in your back row you can push up for damage. Nah, this is you have nothing. You like, cool. You have
So let,
3
let
open
me
slots.
just
Cool,
let me
get
just
some
go
shit.
over the lore for you real quick.
Yeah, okay.
If all of your Pikmin die like in a day, and you start the next day with absolutely 0 Pikmin, the onion spits out 1 seed, and you have to use that 1 Pikmin to rebuild your numbers.
The emergency option.
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
So if you have no
I mean-
board, you use that 1 fiery red, and you get a whole fucking front row.
Oh yeah,
Potentially.
And if you have a back row, yeah, you get like I don't know, you
the
get
yellow one or the flying one.
Something
Well,
like that.
no, because those only activate when they're placed from hand. But you could
Oh,
get the red
yeah.
one and then just hand filter.
Yeah,
Yup.
get what you need.
You know what, guys? I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I like this card very much. I can't get the rock pick.
Can't play what?
Oh
You
man.
can't get the rock Pikmin.
You can't get the rock Pikmin. Oh my god.
It has to be a cost 0.
What about
Yeah.
rocks? What about my standby deck? What about rocks?
Jesus.
All I want to do
Man.
is
Low-key, I think
combo.
this card's fine. You know what? I think this card's better than fine. I only gave it the C- because of the rock thing.
Yeah, this card's great. Whatever.
Oh yeah,
Every turn, if you have no center stage, you get a +1.
And the initial
You're
plus
probably
could get you like
if you're
3
playing
hits.
a Pikmin deck like a Pikmin army deck, you're probably losing your center stage every turn anyway.
Uh-huh.
So pay 2, send this to memory. You get to go +1 probably at least twice over the course of the game. That's not even considering the fact that you can reveal top 3 and add any characters off of that. That's also very helpful.
Any
like,
Pikmin.
okay,
Yeah,
but you're playing a mostly Pikmin deck anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is probably like it's a card that you might play. You play one of probably maybe 2. I think that's where it is. I think it's not bad. But it can only get you Pikmin also. So it whiffs on Olimar, it whiffs on Brittany, it whiffs on the Beasts.
Whiffs on any event.
But like
Climax
once you
event.
have it though,
Yeah.
you have it, you get to go plus every turn.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
That's sick.
like worst case scenario, you go -2 stock, -1 hand initially, and then you just have a constant like stream of dude. Best case scenario, you go like +3 across 2 turns.
Right, here's a question for you. Let's say you're playing. I know we're on this for a while. Let's say you're playing a stupid deck where you're just playing to get the green beasts out, and you're playing the Bulbman strat, right? The reason you would do that is to hold board, right?
Yeah.
Or to
Probably.
generate stock
Also
Right.
too.
after a
So
turn.
how good is it to potentially be able to every turn when you lose your board, summon the red Pikmin off this and immediately get a hand filter, and then immediately use the Empress to trade that red for Bulbman?
Correct.
Because remember, this is the thing about Weiss, right? Obviously, this is built for a Pikmin army strategy, but like you have to think about what the implications are for every potential strategy that the set has.
You absolutely could do that, and it'd be perfectly fine. Yeah.
Even if you whiff the mill 3 every turn after you're playing this, if you lose your board, you're getting a free summon a guy, get a hand filter, then get a target for Bulbman every single turn.
Yeah, because you also don't care. You don't really care if the Bulbman ever dies either, because it's just like you just get him back. It's fine.
It's the point of the Bulbman is it sometimes gets you free stock and is big.
Yeah.
Like
it's sometimes like a +2, maybe 3 if it's also killing. It's like it can go like +3 on a good day, and in multiple lanes on a turn.
does that make me want to increase the score though?
Well, go back to the Snagrid thing. No front row. You get the red, you filter, you get the Bulbman, then you just play Snagrid and get your full field for 2 stock.
That's a level 3 thing.
Oh yeah.
But you're right. You had no investment. You got to get your red for free to trade to the thing. All you needed was a Snagrid in hand. Damn, that's crazy. That's actually pretty wild.
God.
I'm gonna give it a B plus. I don't know if it's worth the A. Like the 2 stock up front's a lot, but like
It's also
that
level
is-
1.
yeah.
Yeah.
that two
You know,
stock
you know
is
what
like.
else is you know what else is cool is like you might say, hey, this card's red. You shouldn't need to fix red and green. But you know what else green has? It has a level 2 event that lets you play your events without fulfilling color requirements.
And it has a 1/0 that says pitch 1, stock 2.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
This
Like,
card.
this set is actually really well. It's okay. This set is very well designed. I don't know if it's fair, but it's at least well designed. I'll give you that one.
That's why it's here. That's why it's being shown off today, because like it is
What did I
both.
give the stupid snitch bug?
This is an
Yes,
example
yeah, I
of a
gave it
set
a yes.
that like
Okay, yeah.
this is an example of a set that like it does not care about your petty math restrictions. It's doing
Damn,
what it's
alright.
designed to
This
do a very goofy
It's
game.
fun. Let me have fun.
Yeah.
It's my Christmas that I choose the power.
Whims of the creator, indeed.
What is the thing? No, yeah, now this is pod racing.
This is onion racing.
No, this is bull
boy.
race.
All right, what a way to end red.
Yeah, we'll be right back with blue.
After these
Bada bing.
commercial messages.